for today. This is another activity from the rBook. There are 3 stories, and this is reading number 3, and it is called A New Immigration Boom. So when you go to Google Classroom today, you will see your assignment. I'm going to click back on Google Classroom. And normally what I do is I move it up. It hasn't been moved up yet, but this is it. So you'll click on your assignment and you will see the attachment that has a new immigration boom. This is the story that we're reading today. So I'm going to read this for you. Once you get this open, then you can also zoom in. I would do 100. Make sure that you can read this. So I'm going to read this with you. It says, a new wave of immigrants is coming to America. Find out how they are influencing our nation. The U.S. Census. When the U.S. Census counted Americans in 2000, there were 281,421,906 of us. How does anyone count so many people? Our government sent millions of forms to homes. Most families responded by mail. Door-to-door workers tried to find everyone else. Then everyone was counted. The census happens every 10 years, and it teaches us a lot. The census doesn't just count heads, it helps Americans understand America. The census asks an important question: where were people born? What languages do they speak? When did they move here? What are their jobs? Since 1790, census records have kept track of Americans. If you look at past records, you can see how America has changed. You can see immigration trends. Okay, we're going to go to the next page and keep reading. The new immigrants. Where have new Americans come from? Immigration trends have changed over time. In the past, U.S. policies made it easier for people from Europe to immigrate. Up until 1965, most immigrants came from Europe. In contrast, on the other hand, only a minimum number of Asians and Latinos were allowed to immigrate. Most were rejected. Then, in 1965, the law changed. It made immigration more fair. Soon after, a new immigration trend began. Newcomers from Asia and Latin America started settling across the country. They brought their food, music, and cultures with them. Latino culture is having an especially big impact on our nation. Burritos are catching up with hamburgers as America's favorite food. Latino musicians sell millions of records. There are more Spanish magazines and TV shows. The census numbers help explain why. Okay, we're going to go to page 18, and I have the book right here, so I'm also reading from the book. So scroll to the next page. A growing group. Look at the circle graph below about immigrants in our country. Latinos are the biggest immigrant group. They include people from Mexico, Central America, South America, and parts of the Caribbean. In 2000, they made up more than 51% of all immigrants. Latino newcomers join other Latinos who have lived in the U.S. for centuries. In 1990, Latinos made up 9% of all Americans. By 2000, they'd grown to 12.5%. They are now the largest minority group. Politicians pay attention to this trend. They give speeches in Spanish. They join in Latino events. What motivates them? They want Latinos to vote for them. Welcome to America. America was founded on immigration. But are immigrants really welcome today? Yes and no. Some people say that immigration hurts America. They say that immigrants get jobs that American citizens want. So remember, from the Quizlet, these are the same words that we practice. Also, here is the pie chart. It talks about where United States immigrants come from, and I would say that Mexico is at 31.3%, so that's the largest one. Okay, let's go to the next page and read the last page. However, others disagree. They say immigrants help America. Many immigrants work for minimum wage. Often, American workers reject those low-income jobs. Immigrants help in other ways too. They move to cities that need more workers. They start businesses. They pay taxes. They become citizens. They vote. Some immigrants are even winning political office. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the governor of California. He was a famous movie star. He's also an immigrant from Austria. I have gotten all of the opportunities because of America, he says. I have seen firsthand what it's like to come over here with empty pockets, but full of dreams, and to succeed. Very good. So there is our story. So what you will need to do next is go back to this first page, which is page 16, and you're going to start answering questions. The first one says, what is the social studies text mostly about? And I would say, remember our strategies. You can look at the title. You can also look at the subtitle. So a subtitle means just like a smaller title. So we know it's about immigration, right? We practiced this word on the Quizlet. If you didn't get a chance to do that, you'll have to go back and do that. So also it gives you a definition. So if you don't know what minimum means, I believe it's on the bottom of the next page. You can go to the next page and take a look at the bottom here, or you can also look it up. It's on one of the pages. So you know that minimum is a small amount. So here you could put the minimum amount. An amusement park ride might have a minimum height requirement because, and you could say some kids or adults are too small to ride on the rides and it's unsafe. So something like that. So I want you to go through and answer the questions on these 4 pages. Of course, I will be here to help you if you have any questions. And thank you so much for listening.